Did you forget that you promised to take me to dinner? Jinwoo asked with a smile. No, I didn't forget. You still owe me some money. Okay, let's go. I'll wait for you outside. Jo-hee smiled and walked away, as Jinwoo nodded. She glanced back several times until she left the dungeon entirely. Jinwoo sighed in relief once they were completely gone. He had hoped to keep his secret hidden as long as possible, but it was discovered. There were witnesses, so he couldn't hide the truth anymore. He didn't want to threaten Ju-hee or Mr. Song. Defending himself against the B-rank hunter wouldn't be a problem. He had 2 witnesses after all. The problem was explaining how an E-rank hunter had beaten a B-ranker. Jinwoo thought coming back to life would be the best reason. He decided to tell them he was a hunter who came back stronger and ask for a new test. There was no reason to tell anyone about the system, or leveling up stuff, because no one would believe him anyway. He felt uneasy about getting evaluated again. I didn't want to go through that until after I got even stronger. But life doesn't always work out how you plan. There was nothing he could do about it. I wonder what rank I have now. Would I still be a high B rank since my tough battle with Tasik ended in victory? I feel like I've gotten stronger, but hunters from B to S rank are really powerful. I'll think about that later though. It's time to beat the boss now. There were only low-level goblins in this medium-level dungeon. This meant most of the magic power detected here probably came from the boss. If the boss was that strong, Jinwoo could likely gain enough experience to level up. But first, he had something important to check on. Jinwoo sharpened his senses and examined every energy signal inside the dungeon. Found him. Jinwoo headed in a certain direction. Along the way he came across the bodies of Kim and the others. This showed how strong a high-ranked hunter was. They could defeat many lower-ranked hunters quickly if they wanted. Jinwoo's expression turned serious as he walked past the bodies. And soon month, he found a prisoner struggling nearby. His hands and feet were tied, and his mouth was gagged. He looked just as Talazek had described him before he died. I tied up the attacker not too far from here. Talazek had said, I was going to kill him last, because the victim's father asked me to make it as slow and painful as possible. Talazek had died right after saying that. The prisoner struggled even more when he saw Jinwoo. He seemed like he was asking him to hurry up and untie him. Mon femme. When Jinwoo looked closer, he realized it was the man who had bothered Ju-hee earlier. The prisoner took deep breaths and opened his eyes wide as Jinwoo removed the gag from his mouth. Huff. That crazy guy Tasik Kang. He killed everyone, I swear. Where is he? There's blood on your clothes. Did he come after you too? Jinwoo didn't answer. Instead he looked straight ahead where the boss was. The prisoner pleaded urgently, please, get me out of here first. We need to run away before Tasik comes back. I can't break this rope because it's magical. Do you have any tools? Why aren't you talking? Can you hear me? Forgetting his own situation, the prisoner started getting angry at the low-ranking hunter, who kept ignoring him. Jinwoo, keeping a straight face, finally spoke up. The boss is right over there. What? The prisoner was confused. It seemed stronger than other D-rank bosses. I'm trying to figure out its attack patterns. The prisoner couldn't take it anymore, and yelled at Jinwoo. Wait, what are you talking about? That's confusing. Jinwoo stayed calm and continued. Let me ask you something. Do you remember the girl who was hurt? The man looked surprised. Who are you talking about? Are you connected to someone hurt by this? Jinwoo noticed the prisoner didn't answer, yes or no. Instead, he asked who Jinwoo meant. It showed that there were more than just a couple of people hurt. Hunters are strong, but this one used his strength in a very bad way. He was someone terrible who misused his power to hurt women. Jinwoo made up his mind more firmly. Looking down at the prisoner, he said coldly, I've heard enough. What? Jinwoo quickly covered the man's mouth, before he could say anything else. He grabbed one of the man's ankles, and began pulling him toward the boss's room. The prisoner struggled and shouted loudly, even though his words were muffled. His eyes were wide with fear, as Jinwoo dragged him along. No matter how hard he tried to break free, Jinwoo held on tightly, until they reached their destination. Inside the room, a group of creatures called hobgoblins moved around. They looked fierce and dangerous. The prisoner realized what was about to happen, and struggled even harder. He jerked back his head and yelled when he saw the group of hobgoblins. His clothes got stained with a yellow liquid. Jinwoo took a deep breath and threw the convict toward the hobgoblins. The convict made strange noises as the hobgoblins attacked him, tore into his leather clothes, and started biting his midsection. The convict's eyes turned red as the veins in them popped from struggling so hard. The hobgoblins kept eating even after he passed out. What would it be like to be eaten by those ugly monsters? Jinwoo searched for the boss with an angry look on his face. There it was. A huge hobgoblin that was probably the boss sat proudly in one corner, while all the boss's helpers were busy with the trap. Jinwoo saw his chance. He quickly ran past the smaller monsters and stood right in front of the boss. The boss was startled and tried to get up, but its head fell off before it could even move. It rolled away slowly. Peng, you have defeated the master of the dungeon. You have leveled up. Oh right, Jinwoo remembered the magic stone after cutting off the boss's head. He could have used the stealth ability to sneak up instead of using that guy as bait. Jinwoo clicked his tongue looking at what was left of the prisoner, which didn't look human anymore. Jinwoo didn't feel bad about what he had done. After all, the mission had gone well. When their leader was gone, the hobgoblins got confused and didn't know what to do. This made them easier to handle. The creatures let out loud screeches, kiki, 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 as they tried to run away from Jinwoo. But he caught up to them quickly, one by one, kiki. After defeating the last hobgoblin, a familiar and exciting message popped up in his mind. You have leveled up. Wait, did he really level up again? This surprising news put a smile on Jinwoo's face. He wiped the blood off Kasaka's venom fang, and gathered all the essence stones from the hobgoblins' bodies. Jinwoo put the dagger and the essence stones into his inventory. Then he opened his status screen. Name Jinwoo Sung Job, none health points HP 5, 11 14 fatigue 0 level 27 title. Wolf Assassin magic points MP 548, stats strength, 72, stamina 43 agility 80, T2 intelligence 39 perception 69. He had 5 unused ability points. His physical damage was reduced by 20%. Skills passive skills unknown max level. Willpower level 1 active skills dash level 1. Murderous intent level 1 equipped item warden's collar. Jinwoo was almost level 30. He didn't expect much after fighting goblins near the dungeon entrance, but he leveled up twice, once for defeating the boss hobgoblin, and again for beating the others. The strongest ones were in the boss's lair, but was it really luck? He had known which path to take, and how tough the boss would be. If younger adventurers had entered the boss's lair feeling too confident after easily defeating the goblins, that wouldn't have ended well. Unlike goblins, hobgoblins weren't as easy to deal with. Adventurers sometimes run into hobgoblins in a dungeon where goblins are, but it was rare to see so many hobgoblins in one group. Dungeons were unpredictable that way. Things that seem lucky for one person can be terrible for another. The only thing that could really keep hunters safe in dangerous situations is strength. That's why Jinwoo wanted to be strong. Surviving a dungeon was one thing, but what if a dungeon suddenly appeared at the hospital where his mom was? What if Jinwoo met a magic beast while walking and got attacked? Magic beasts were not the only danger. Hunters could be just as risky. Hunter groups tried to control them but could only do so much. Jinwoo needed to be strong enough to protect himself. Hunters have limits on how strong they can get, but Jinwoo had no such limit. As long as Jinwoo kept leveling up and getting new items, he could keep getting stronger. Today he had even found a new way to get stronger. Rune stones. He pulled the stone out of his pocket. The information about it appeared on a screen just like it did with other items. Rune stone stealth. You can gain this skill by breaking the stone. To most people it looked like a small rock with strange marks, but every hunter would do anything to get one. A top-level hunter could use a rare rune stone with a skill like stealth. A lower-level hunter might sell it to make a lot of money. Such a stone would sell for millions of won in an official auction, and even more on the black market. The reason it cost more on the black market is simple. No one would know who bought it, or how much they paid. Having a unique skill that others were unaware of felt like possessing a strong secret tool. Just like how Taze kept his stealth ability a secret, Jinwoo would have been at a disadvantage if his awareness level wasn't so high. Jinwoo felt nervous just thinking about it. Selling was not an option. He could make money anytime. Jinwoo should not be tempted by the idea of getting rich quickly. What mattered most right now was becoming stronger. It goes without saying how important a rare and useful skill like stealth was. I can't believe this pebble is as valuable as several houses, or even buildings. Jinwoo did something he never imagined doing before. He could easily crush the runestone by using his power. Crack! The red light coming from the crack surrounded him. It felt like healing magic but in a different color. Whatever happened, it didn't hurt, or feel bad at all. As the red glow swirled, Jinwoo felt a strange energy fill him. He heard the familiar sound of a notification. Ping! You learned skill stealth. You may now use skill stealth. Nice. Jinwoo had successfully obtained the skill. Jinwoo felt nervous because this was his first time learning an ability through a magic stone. The process went much smoother and quicker than he had imagined. Can I start using the stealth skill now? He wondered. He felt excited about mastering such a rare skill. People often say that doing something is better than just reading about it. Jinwoo decided to try the skill right away. As soon as he focused on using stealth, his body began to fade out of sight. He turned completely invisible. He felt strange because he could not see his hand when he held it in front of his face. What happens if I do this? Jinwoo summoned his dagger, and felt something in his hand. Oddly, he could not see it, but he could feel its shape and weight. That was what I thought. Stealth worked on Kasaka's venom fang, like it did with Tasek's knife. The knife itself was nothing special. What else can the stealth skill be used for? He picked up a stone from the ground, and it turned invisible right away. Can I do this too? He placed his hand on the shoulder of a dead hobgoblin, but nothing happened. There seemed to be a limit to how long the skill could be used. It worked perfectly on his clothes and things he held in his hands. Then, without warning, skill stealth was turned off because there was not enough mana. What happened? Jinwoo said. Stealth suddenly stopped working. Only a few seconds had passed, but it used up all his mana. Surprised, Jinwoo quickly checked the details about the skill since he had only been testing it by moving around. Skills: passive skill unknown LV. Max willpower LV. 1 active skill -LV. 1 murderous intent LV. 1 stealth LV. 1. He wanted to know more about how the stealth skill worked. More text appeared before his eyes. Ping. Skill stealth LV. 1 active skill. This skill uses 200 mana to activate, and then 10 mana every second while in use. The user becomes invisible, and cannot be detected. No wonder his mana was gone so fast. MP 75048. His mana bar looked really low with only 7 left. It had dropped a lot. Jinwoo could currently have around 550 mana at most. Each time he used the skill called stealth, it would last for about 35 seconds. If he used his magic on something else during those 35 seconds, he wouldn't be able to stay hidden for the full time. Now Jinwoo understood why Tasek had only been able to use stealth for a few seconds before it stopped working. Tasek didn't have enough magic power to keep using it. If even a top hunter like Tasek couldn't do it, then lower-ranked hunters wouldn't even bother trying. The issue is mana, he said. He had put points into every other skill except intelligence, but his mana never got stronger. He realized he would need to improve his brain power to have more magic energy. Should he start boosting his intelligence? It felt like a waste to spend points on skills that weren't for fighting, just so he could use abilities a bit longer. Compared to strength, stamina, agility, or perception, intelligence didn't seem as useful. He had seen firsthand how effective these were. He got noticeably stronger as his stats increased. However, he didn't notice any changes when his intelligence stat went up. Even though it was already 4 times what it was when he was level 1, the only difference seemed to be that his mana reserves grew. It didn't seem worth it to spend points on that. It felt like a waste. Other stats showed in his body. He thought he should keep leveling up until he had more mana. Then he could use his ability points on better stats. He still had 5 ability points from the urgent quest. He thought about adding points to intelligence but decided to add 3 points to strength and 2 to stamina. His stats were now strength 75, stamina 45, agility 82, intelligence 39, perception 69. With no ability points left, he had reduced physical damage by 20%. The numbers looked neat since they were all multiples of 5. Jinwoo smiled in satisfaction. When, Arbol, the ground shook harder, and he could not ignore it anymore. Had an hour passed already? There was no time to waste. Jinwoo closed the screen. He had waited on purpose until the gate was almost closed, but knew he would be trapped in the dungeon forever. If he waited much longer, He took one last look around the boss's room before leaving. He had already picked up all the essence stones and remembered to take everything he needed. After checking everything, Jinwoo hurried toward the entrance. Whir rumble. The ground was shaking more than before, as if trying to warn him. It was closing soon. His timing was perfect. The surveillance team arrived just then. Their eyes opened wide when they saw Jinwoo walking calmly out of the gate. Sir, are there any other survivors? They asked. No, Jinwoo replied. The team members looked upset. Out of 9 people who had entered, only 3 had made it out alive. This was a disaster. They were in a tough spot as employees of the association, because many incidents had happened in this area. They wanted to look for more survivors, but they couldn't do that anymore, because the gate had already closed. Jinwoo stayed inside on purpose until the gate was almost closed for this reason. I couldn't let them find out there were survivors. The only proof was what 3 people who escaped said. An employee who saw it happen looked nervous. The security team just got a call from the president of Chugong Industries. Jinwoo stepped forward. The CEO of Chugong Industries. His daughter had been hurt by one of them, and he hired Tae-sik Kang to take care of the person who did it. When the CEO of Chugong Industries found out that Tae-sik had succeeded in taking care of the offender, he admitted everything. But the real truth is, I was the one who did it. The police had found the CEO, and the group had come here. Jinwoo, who had been quiet until now, asked a question. Then there's no problem, is there? The employee looked like Jinwoo had put her on the spot. Yes, that's right. There was clear proof of Tae-sik's wrongdoing, and the 3 hunters had fought against him to survive. This wasn't a problem, as Jinwoo said. However, one thing was bothering the employee, who killed Tae-sik Kang, a B-rank hunter. The monitoring team members hadn't heard the full story yet, as they just arrived. Well, the headquarters of the association is quite a distance from here, but they did arrive just before the gate closed. They'd rushed to the scene as soon as they'd received notice. The members of the surveillance team looked tired. Before telling them everything, Jinwoo thought about Jinyo. Unfortunately, if Jinwoo said he had gained new powers, and his rank was reviewed, he wouldn't be able to help Jinyo with any raids. Jinwoo needed someone with a lower rank but amazing skills. If Jinwoo's rank went up, all his plans would fall apart. But why did he feel this way? Instead of feeling guilty, he wanted to laugh when he imagined Jinyo looking upset. It was too bad. Jinwoo would lose the building he was supposed to get as a reward. Well, there wasn't much he could do about it. Just as Jinwoo was about to tell the truth, someone said, I did it. Jinwoo turned toward the voice. It was Jinyo, and she looked surprised as she stared at Jinyo. Mr. Song? Jinwoo asked, confused. Before Jinwoo could ask what was happening, Jinyo took a step forward. I'm the one who killed Tae-sik Kang, he said. The employee's eyes widened in shock, clearly unable to believe what she was hearing. Did you really beat Hunter Tae-sik Kang and Hunter Cheol Song? Her reaction made sense because Cheol was a Sen rank hunter and had lost his left arm. Tae-sik, on the other hand, had been a B rank hunter, which is a very high rank. The power of a high-ranked hunter is truly amazing. The difference between a B rank and a C rank was much bigger than the gap between C and D. Cheol chuckled. Don't you see who was with me? Oh. Everyone's eyes turned to Joo-hee, who flushed and looked down. Joo-hee was a B rank hunter. They hadn't considered her because she wasn't a combat hunter, but she was just as strong as Tae-sik. There was no reason a lower-ranked hunter couldn't beat someone stronger with help from another strong hunter. The group watching from afar nodded like they understood. Jinwoo slowly moved closer to Chijul, while everyone else wasn't paying attention. Why did you lie to them? He asked quietly. Chijul also kept his voice down. Of course Jinwoo hadn't been. Thanks to Chil, Jinwoo avoided a lot of trouble. This was why years of experience shouldn't be dismissed. Never, sir. Considering how much you've helped me, I'm glad to be of help to you. One of the surveillance team members approached them. Mr. Song, please come with us. We need your help with the report, if that's okay with you. Right. It was only Jinwoo and Joo-hee at the scene after Chiwil, and the surveillance team left. The sun had gone down some time ago. Joo-hee felt awkward, because Jinwoo acted very different from before. She hesitated for a moment, then walked up to him. Would you like to go for a walk? She asked. Does she want to talk about dinner? He thought he was hungry after everything they did. Jinwoo happily agreed. Sure, they quietly walked under the streetlights. They stayed in step without one leading the other, walking naturally side by side, as though they had done this before. Jung-hee kept looking at her shoes. Whenever she looked up, her eyes went right to Jinwoo. She didn't want to feel nervous about it, but she just couldn't stop herself. Before she had always felt at ease when she was with Jinwoo, but now there was something different about him. He seemed to have this strong energy that made it hard for her to talk to him. What had happened to him? He wasn't just able to beat that B-rank hunter. He was totally different now. Joo-hee didn't want to ask too many questions because she could tell Jinwoo wanted to keep things private. But she couldn't stop wondering how much he had changed. She wished he would speak up sometimes. For a moment, his silence made him seem almost uncaring. Finally, she stopped walking and began talking.